Francis Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz have a lot in common. In addition to being good friends since the juniors, both are 26. Both were touted as the next big American hopefuls for much of their careers, and on Friday, both have the chance to do what they only dreamed of as kids, compete for a Grand Slam trophy. For the first time since 2005, we're treated to an All-American male US Open semifinal, with the winner to be the first US men's major finalist since Andy Roddick made his run to the Wimbledon Championships 15 years ago. Will the high-ranked Fritz rise to the occasion as the favorite and stamp his place in Sunday's final? Or will Tiafoe use his experience from being in this exact stage 2 years ago to go one step further? Hey, my name is Christian Bassnight and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell to join Christian's crew, and also be notified whenever I post my US Open men's final preview. Now, getting into the head-to-head, Fritz leads it with a decisive 6-1 edge. Francis's only win was their first meeting when both guys were very early in their pro careers back in 2016. All of these meetings came on the hard courts, and of course, Taylor has taken all their last 6. The last meeting was at the Acapulco quarterfinal last year, which Fritz won 3-4. The only time that these two have met at a slam prior was at the 2022 Australian Open in the second round, which Taylor won in straight sets. Also, as you can see from the win-loss record, Taylor overall has had a more solid season, and he's made the second week at all 4 slams that he's played in. Tiafoe, meanwhile, just turned his season around during the Wimbledon third round, where he nearly defeated eventual champion Alcaraz before reaching the semifinals in DC and the finals of the Cincinnati 1000 before the Open. Looking at Big Foe's road to the semis, his biggest win for sure was that one over Ben Shelton in round 3. In addition to the high quality from both guys, I was very impressed by Tiafoe's mental fortitude as he continued to give his 100% and fought point in and point out despite facing some major gut punches throughout the match. He could have really lost this one in 5 or even 4 sets, but he remained diligent and saw it through. Also, in that 4th round against Alexei Popyrin, Tiafoe was down 3-5, love 40 in the second set on Popyrin's serve, but he never let up, and he stole that set, which was huge for him in getting that 4-set win. In the latest match with Grigor Dimitrov in the quarterfinals, it was honestly a little bit scrappy from Tiafoe. Now, Francis, he started off very well for the first set and some change, but his level did dip midway through the second set, although it was still solid enough for him to get a 2-1 advantage before Grigor called it quits due to an injury. But I think that Tiafoe would definitely want to play better than he did against Fritz. The main things I've been impressed with Tiafoe this tournament, of course, I mentioned earlier his mentality and mainly his focus. Tiafoe has a reputation of kind of losing his focus a little bit and dropping intensity in the big moments of the match, but we have not seen that at all from him throughout this tournament, and that's been a major difference maker for him. He's always had the game. That's one thing we always say. He always has the game, always has the talent, but now he has the mentality to carry him through in tight moments and get these edgy wins. Also, Tiafoe's shot tolerance has really been a big deciding factor for him. He can consistently now engage in 20-plus shot rallies before taking that perfect opportunity to charge forward to the net, which is another thing that he's been excellent at this tournament. Really, his net skills, being able to kind of rush and seek any opportunity to come forward and take opponents or catch opponents off guard at net for sure has been a major asset for him. And then 2, we also have to mention his returning. The return has notoriously been a weak spot for Tiafoe, and I believe prior to his Wimbledon surge, he was one of the weaker returners on tour, but I definitely think David Witt, his new coach, has helped him in that regard, as he's dramatically improved that statistic, and it's paid off well. He's a consistent threat now to break his opponents in their service games, and in fact against Dimitrov he won 42% of return points, which is excellent. Taylor, meanwhile, has had a tougher path to the Final Four, taking down 3 former slam finalists, Matteo Berrettini in round 2, Casper Ruud in the round of 16, and Alexander Zverev in the quarters. The serve for Fritz has been the clear standout star for him in this tournament. In his previous match against Alexander Zverev, he won 81% of first serve points, which is excellent. His second serve has also been very strong throughout this tournament, as he has claimed 63% of points behind his second delivery, which is the most amongst the players in the field. The Zverev match was primarily a battle from the baseline, and Fritz obviously prevailed, thanks to, of course, his punishing forehand, but also his improved backhand, which really went pound for pound with the excellent Zverev backhand. If there's one area where Taylor needs to improve on, I think is his breakpoint conversion rate. He went 2 for 13 against Zverev, but giving credit to him, he brought his best tennis or better tennis in the tight moments, particularly in those first and fourth set tiebreakers. Now, Fritz will be the favorite in this match, primarily due to his 6-1 head-to-head advantage. Looking back at some of their old matches, Fritz just has the edge, with him having the stronger serve of the two and also having more firepower from the ground. On both sides, really. Tiafoe also struggles to have more success at net against Taylor because Fritz is such a good passer. While the matchup honestly might not favor Francis, the 20th seed does have the edge in some important departments himself. He has been here before in a US Open semifinal at night on Ash, narrowly losing to the eventual champion Carlos Alcaraz back in 2022 in a 5-set battle. Even Francis himself made a good point in his post-match press conference after beating Dimitrov about not reading too much into those prior 7 matches because this match and this stage is going to be totally different.
A couple of those I thought I actually should have won. He's tough, man. He's a tough player. Like, he plays great from both sides. Got a great serve. He's moving much better now. But, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be a big moment for both of us to play for a final. I mean, I don't think those matches are anywhere near what this match would be, so it's kind of tough to, you know, even go from there. Like, playing in quarters of Acapulco 500 and playing semis at Arthur Ashe at night, it's going to be, well, hopefully at night, it's a little different.
It's also worth noting that Taylor has never actually played a night match on Arthur Ashe Stadium. That's a completely different vibe and atmosphere, and it takes time to get used to. Tiafoe has that luxury already of playing his 2 recent matches on night on Ash. Also, overall, he has a bigger personality, and I think that could resonate better with the nighttime Arthur Ashe crowd, and I think that he could win the crowd over a little bit more despite it being 2 Americans going at it. Not to mention also, Taylor just got over the quarterfinal hump of losing his 4 previous Elite 8 matches. So with him being in prime position to finally be the one to end the final drought, on top of being the favorite, I feel like that's going to be a notable mental challenge for him to overcome. Obviously, in addition to whoever maintains the higher level for the longest, I feel like this match will come down to whoever handles the nerves and expectations the best. This will by far be the biggest match of either man's career, with one of them finally being the one to make history and thrust themselves further into tennis superstardom by playing for the title on Sunday. Also, while it is unlikely that he'll pull off the upset, if Jack Draper does manage to beat world number 1 and title favorite Jannik Sinner in that first semifinal, nerves are bound to be an even bigger factor, as it gives the winner of this Tiafoe Fritz match a greater shot at taking the title. This is honestly a tough one for me to decide in picking a winner, because I think the fact that Tiafoe seemingly thrives on the bigger stages and has more experience here in this stage of it being a slam semifinal once again on Arthur Ashe at night might get him over the edge in the tight moments. He could play with a different type of freeness too, knowing that he's not necessarily the favorite here to win. Plus, the crowd energy will be huge for Big Foe. But the crowd can only take you so far. At the end of the day, it comes down to who's the better player in the most decisive moments. I think Fritz, armed with his booming serve and a new belief after finally getting over the hump and winning a major quarterfinal, will propel him to go one further. And so I have him taking this one in 5 sets to make the championship on Sunday. Do you agree with me having Fritz win, or will Tiafoe become the first African-American man to make a Grand Slam singles final since Malavi Washington did it at Wimbledon in 1996? Leave your own picks and predictions in the comments too, and also make sure you subscribe again and click that notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more content throughout the US Open. Thank you all so much for your support and for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time here on Christian's Court.